Yo, 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 homie nation. Know it all nation. Steel Curtain Network. Frustrated Chicago sports fan. Running through the jungle. Wherever you might be listening to this pod or watching on YouTube right now, we thank you for tapping into the homies Friday night. You got 2 or 3 tonight. The boy B Dirt is on one of them benders out there in Vegas getting it in for the March Madness tournament. So shout out B Dirt. Hope you out there having a lot of fun thus far. It's only 5 p.m. West Coast time out there. So, just starting your night. You probably do a lot. I've never been out to Vegas for the tournament, but I imagine, Pay, and shout out to you, Pay. What's up with you, man? But I'd imagine that the games, man, like the late games here, I'm up till 11 midnight watching the games. But when the last game is over there out west, there's still a whole lot of night left for B Dirt, huh, man? Or not.
There is no such thing as a night in Vegas. There's no such thing as day.
Touche. How that was a softball I pitched up to you right there. Man, you're right. There's no such thing as night in Vegas. I mean, there's no such thing as day in Vegas. Yeah.
No day, no night. Everything just runs all together.
Okay. Nah, man. But speaking of which, while we just, tapping in, waiting on some folks to join us, man, the tournament has begun, and my bracket was busted by the night games yesterday.
I haven't checked my brackets.
I haven't either, but I know. I mean, when you just know like 3 or 4 games you lost already in the first round, you're not doing good.
I mean, maybe, in the sense of, I'm looking for a perfect bracket. That's not going to happen. You're not going to get a perfect bracket. So I don't consider a bracket bust until I start losing my final 4 picks.
Right. No, that's true. That's true.
I'm as long as I still got my final 4 picks, and maybe a Cinderella here and there, even though I don't believe Cinderella is going to be a thing moving forward. But as long as those are alive, my bracket still got a shot.
Yeah, no, all my Final Four teams are alive. If I just go back to yesterday, I mean, because, just mayhem was happening, March Madness, mayhem had the other M on it. I wanted Kentucky to lose. You see that Kentucky game?
I saw the very end of it. But you say had Kentucky losing?
No, I didn't have them losing. I wanted them to lose, though. I mean, if we want chaos and mayhem, why not? Kentucky lose.
Yeah.
North Carolina lost. I mean, Villanova lost today. All these blue bloods are out of here.
Whoa, let's not call Villanova blue blood. But you're right. The best thing about March Madness is rooting against the bully, rooting against the big dogs. That's we all become fans. We was all fans of Siena yesterday.
We were. I was, and I get your disdain for Duke, right? I mean, it's Duke, you're Carolina, so like I sent you guys a little meme of Ohio State and Tar Heel, Brutus and the Tar Heel on the couch because we're done. I mean, Ohio State was down 17 points in the first half. They made a valiant comeback. Took the lead in the second half, but ended up losing by 2, 66-64 on a shot. They gave up a lane kind of post hook with like 4 seconds left, and they lose. So, yeah. But then after that, misery enjoys company, right? Because when I saw North Carolina was the close one, I was actually rooting against them. Not even that I deal with somebody that likes Kentucky regularly, but I know people that root for Kentucky. You know what I mean? So Kentucky, go down. Didn't happen, but that's what I'm rooting for. I'm only rooting for the teams I got in my Final Four. Everybody else can go down. So that's just how I look at that.
I agree with that. I mean, that's what makes March fun, right? So
it is.
We want to see within reason. We want to see a lot of the favors lose. Not too much because once we get into the second weekend, third weekend, you don't want to see these unheard of squads, these McNeese States and the rest of them. Okay, let's get them out of here. We want to see the stars. All right, it's fun for the first weekend, but after that, let's wrap this up. You're on the clock. Wrap it up.
You're right. You said we want to see stars. My boy, the Basta got sent home yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh, he was cooking too.
He was. He scored like
Yeah.
36 or something.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, oh well, man. Hey, get an early start on that draft.
Hey, I think he got his start in the game yesterday because, you know, I mean, he showed out. I mean, he made his statement to be the number one pick. Do you remember?
Mhm.
I think you're one that does multiple brackets, right? I just do one bracket, the bracket of integrity. I don't want to get nobody else thing. I'm in one. I got one bracket. I'm gonna tell you my final four, and you tell me your final four that you think is most likely. If I remember correctly, I got Duke and Michigan on one side of my final four, but just because they played such a great game a few weeks ago, I think they're both really, really good teams. Let me see. And in my other bracket, I can't even tell you who I got, man.
I'm just now looking at my bracket. It is trash. Oh my god.
I told you, man.
You thought that Duke Michigan game was good.
Yeah, it went almost. Did it go to overtime? It was real close. So I did. Shout out to Christine Black and Girl. What's up, boo? Hey, girl. Thanks for tapping in on a Friday night. You know you always appreciate it, along with everybody else. We're gonna shout you out in just a minute.
I don't think it went to overtime. It was a close game, but
it was a close game.
Michigan didn't play that well. They were fortunate to still be in that game because Duke didn't blow the doors off of them. But Michigan, that was a piss poor effort from them. That game was. I thought it was going to be better. I would definitely went out to watch that game, and I was disappointed that it wasn't as good as I thought it should have been. But I filibustered long enough. What's your final four?
Looks like Michigan, Duke. Do I got a Michigan State in here? I really can't tell. It's showing my West pick. It's not showing my the East South game. I got Duke, and the West Midwest game I got Michigan. I can't tell who the other two teams are.
Tech has defeated you again, huh?
Yeah. And so who's your final four before I go on?
Extremely chalk. I got 3 number ones and 1 number 2. I think you know. I think you know which number 1 didn't make it.
North Carolina was number 1. Dog, Duke didn't make it. Yeah, Duke didn't make it for you.
Right. I got Connecticut winning that bracket. Winning that region. So I have Arizona, Michigan, Florida, and Connecticut in the final 4.
I don't think I have Florida and Connecticut. I think I
really. I thought Florida is I thought Florida's had an argument to be the best team in the nation going into the tournament.
Yeah, but they're the fourth seed. I mean, I know I got Michigan State and somebody else. I can't remember. But yeah, so anyway, we'll see as the tournament goes on. But what's Claude talking about? Is he trolling?
UNC wins it all. That will have to be a troll unless he's in the time travel.
Unless he just don't know, right? Hey, Claude, UNC lost yesterday, man. But yeah, Pay. So we're here to talk some football, of course, but it can't be March, and we ignore March Madness going on right now, like literally on my TV right up here in front of me. Clemson Iowa game. I did pick Iowa to win this game. It's like
if you had Michigan State in the Final Four, they're in the same region with Duke. So,
oh no, I got them losing to Duke then.
Okay, St. John's, Connecticut, Michigan State, and Duke all in the same region.
So who's on the other side? Of Duke.
The other side.
Who would Duke play in the Final Four?
If Duke made it to the Final Four, they would be playing Florida. Florida's the opposite one of them.
I don't have Florida.
You don't have Florida, which is crazy. If you didn't have Florida, so Florida's in the South. That's where North Carolina was. You have out of that same region, you have Houston and Illinois.
I think I got Houston.
Yeah, I'm tired of Houston.
And then the one underneath that is who? So Duke, Michigan,
on the opposite side,
Houston.
Yeah, so those two would have been matched up in the final four, the winner of the South and the East bracket. On the opposite side of the brackets, you do have the Michigan and the what's the other
I
one?
got Michigan. I'm looking for the other
And
side.
Arizona.
I don't have Arizona making it. I don't think.
Arizona is the number one in the West. Along other two good teams out of there would be Purdue and Arkansas.
Yep, I think it's
Gonzaga.
Purdue. No, not gonna. I think it's Purdue. Brendan Smith, Purdue. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. But I picked Wisconsin for the same reason I picking Purdue. You know, big experienced guys that can shoot. You know, bigs that can stretch it out and stuff like that.
There's a word you're using, but there's a word you're using that explains it better. The word is big. Big Ten. Big Ten allegiance. That's what Wisconsin.
Well, I had them winning yesterday. I didn't say like going deep, but I had them getting to the 16.
I think I had them losing tomorrow. I didn't have them. I didn't have them getting to the next weekend.
Okay.
But my bracket is total, so don't listen to me.
Agreed. But yeah, man, let's tell the people what we're here to talk about for a little bit. We're here to talk about the AFC North teams and what's left for them to do from a general manager's perspective before the draft. We're going to try and figure out what my boy Omar Khan would do. Pays homie Eric DaCosta. B Dirt's boy, they don't even got a GM, man. They got a president of personnel, Duke Tobin. No, Duke Tobin. And the Browns GM, Andrew Berry. Like, what did they do there? So we're going to talk from that perspective. Between the draft is 5 weeks away, whether we know it or not. I think it's literally, might be 6 from the yesterday. I think it's 5. No, it's 5, yeah. Because it's one more Thursday in March.
Mm-hmm.
Then like the 5th, the 12th, the 19th, the 24th or 20th. Yeah, it's 4.5 weeks. Well, 4 weeks minus a day. Yesterday, 4 weeks from yesterday, or 5 weeks from yesterday. Anyway, the draft is in April. B Dirt's anniversary weekend. They're gonna be celebrating again. B Dirt's wedding was probably gonna be a thing every year. I made it to the wedding last year. I won't make it this year, but I believe Pay has plans on going to Pittsburgh to celebrate with B Dirt and Jess, along with bringing in the draft again. Maybe they can get on one of their rants late night, draft night, like at B Dirt's bachelor party last year.
I thought you were saying it was going back to Myrtle Beach
last week. What'd you say?
I thought you were saying maybe they was going back to Myrtle Beach for this for the 1 year anniversary. Like, no, they're not. I heard that airport is going to be shutting down intermittently in the coming future. So yeah, we're gonna be doing it from the crib. We're gonna be in Pittsburgh celebrating that 1 year. Shout out to Jess.
Shutting Myrtle Beach Airport down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they can't shut Pittsburgh Airport down. Not that weekend. But
I mean, you never know. I mean, the decision makers, the decision makers do things that we don't even see coming.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not even decision makers. The decision makers are the people, the TSA agents that aren't getting paid. They're the ones that can shut it down. Like, oh, you know what? I ain't going to work. I ain't getting no check, and that'll shut it down. That'll shut down the NFL draft. That can shut down everything if people just decide, you know what? Not today.
Well, speaking of them, they ain't getting paid. Why y'all steal my steal my beard wash from me? You ain't even getting paid to be doing all this extra stuff, man. Give me my stuff back.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the last time I was in the airport a week or so ago, it was like, man, this is over the 3.5 ounces, bro.
Oh,
bro, you're not getting paid, bro. You don't need to try that hard. Come on, bro.
yeah,
Give my
man,
stuff.
I went last week to Big G's daughter's wedding, man, and that's when I was, messing up, producing backstage last week. You and B Dirt was letting me have it along with your bad takes.
Hey, yo.
But no, man. So I didn't even take any like cologne. I already pre-planned for my brother. Like, man, I need to borrow some cologne because I wasn't risking just my carry when they taking my, good cologne and dumping it. Like, nah, I just carry nothing with me and told my brother, man, I need to borrow some cologne while I'm there. I'm not going to buy like another bottle of Creed or something like that. They cost a whole bunch of money and not going to risk them throwing it away.
Nah, they gonna sell that. Like, I ain't got a paycheck. Let me sell this Creed.
That could be a thing. That could be a thing. My brother did have an option for me, though. I tell you that I'd never seen it before, but I wore it one day just because I wanted somebody to ask me what I had on. It was Tom Ford effing fantastic. I want somebody to say, what do you have on? Effing fantastic.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Effing fabulous. Yeah, fabulous. Okay. Yeah. No, I hadn't seen that or had that one before. So, but yeah. But man, let's get into the football level. Almost shout out to live chat. We can go to the intro. Be right back. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna start with the Cleveland Browns perspective. What do they need between now and the draft? So Big Bob is in the building early. Afton. Shout out to KnoItAlkz crew member and homie Afton in the building. Pickens, you big dummy. Mark Cunningham. What up, fam? What up? My boo in the building, always showing support. Christine, black and gold. Claude is in the building. Claude obviously first said UNC gonna win it all. Then just to complete the troll, he said, my bad, let you know it's a troll. Al on the prowl said UConn. Let's see. Mark obviously in the building. Dwayne in the building. What up, fam? Thanks for tapping in. Definitely appreciate you and everybody that's here right now. Boo, what's the OMG for? And Afton, what is pay correct about? What you said something correct? Not that you don't usually, but I mean I don't know what because I'm just catching up on the comments. So
time stamp 8:20 a minute ago. 1 minute ago. What did I say 1 minute ago? Not sure.
About the cologne, about the fabulous over fantastic. Tom Ford, maybe. I don't know.
Possibly.
But yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for tapping in. We're gonna get this show on the road. Oh, okay. Afton said the cologne. You are correct. Afton, what you know about effing fabulous? You got some? Or you got somebody with some? Let's dig deep into the business of Afton.
I think Afton.
Is it?
I believe so. Tom Ford do a lot of unisex scents.
Yeah, they do. They do. Okay. Oh man, but that Creed Island Breeze, love it. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. After said it's on the wish list. Okay. No doubt. Yeah, definitely big football. Chuck Norris did pass away today. Came on. How old was Chuck Norris? You know?
86.
86, man. Like when you see
one day after the Third Reich fell. Coincidence? Don't think so.
The Wright brothers?
The Third Reich, Germany. Hitler.
Oh, okay. I just meant the Third Reich fell, like they tried to fly and failed again.
That would be a Pittsburgh. That would be some real Pittsburgh trivia right there.
Why?
With the Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers from Ohio, man. Dayton, Ohio.
Aren't they? Oh, yes. I thought those Pittsburgh. What aviators from Pittsburgh?
I don't know, man. Neil Armstrong on the moon, Ohio. John Glenn broke the sound barrier, Ohio. 7 presidents, Ohio.
Yeah. Ohio loves
LeBron James, Ohio. Big Ben Roethlisberger, Ohio. I mean, I'm going to stop right there.
You could have stopped before Ben.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Talk some football, man. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after the intro, and let's get this thing started.
Yeah. Friday night, You rolling with the homies. Sports talk with a twist. We keep it real only. Ain't talking that baloney. We speaking the facts. Sports news going on. We talking about that. Tate, paying dirt. We gon' bring the noise. Friday nights are better when you hang with the boys. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
You gonna learn. Oh yeah, you gonna learn.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
You need anything at all, I drop it off for y'all if my homies call.
And we're back on the homies Friday night. Your boy Tate and Pay in the building. Shout out to Boo Christine. She says, Tate, I wrote a poem for him today. Chuck Norris reminds me of my moments with my dad. Wow, that's special, man. You and your dad used to watch, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I know Walker Texas Ranger, right? That was a TV show, but I go back to Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee. Like, that's way before Payday and a lot of y'all day, when Chuck Norris was a expert martial artist and was in movies fighting Bruce Lee all the time. I go back that long ago. So, yeah, Chuck Norris been around a long time. Not surprised to hear he's 86, but like I said, when you see somebody in syndication all the time and whatever they do, and you see old movies and stuff, you just lose track because he's not doing anything new. Even like with Gene Hackman, because Gene Hackman was like 94 or something like that. Like, I just watched Hoosiers the other night. I mean, I remember all that stuff, him being Lex Luthor, you know, the original Supermans and stuff. Yeah, so just go way back like that. You kind of makes you lose track when you continually see people. Let's see. What's Claude saying real quick before we get this thing started?
R.I.P. to Gene Hackman, too.
R.I.P. to Gene Hackman. Claude says Pennsylvania got the most Hall of Famers. All right, can you fact check that, Pay? I don't know. I'm not saying he's wrong. I just don't know. But we get a chance, Claude. We'll fact check you. I definitely remember the movie Delta Force, mid-'80s movie, great movie, hijacked plane, good stuff. Pay. Start with the Cleveland Browns, right? And here.
I mean, we usually do get them out the way.
That's typically the production train of thought, right? Let's go ahead and get this over with so we can get to the good stuff, right?
Right.
But no. So go ahead, man. If you got any questions or you know some stuff you want to share, I can put myself in the mind because I took some notes. I don't know. I know you're typically prepared. Maybe you got some notes. But
so Cleveland, obviously they've done a lot of jettisoning, like most teams. The free agency is all about outtake and intake. They've lost Devin Bush, and to name a bunch of other players. But I think if we were to put our finger on it, I think where the most thing they still need to shore up before the draft would probably be on the offensive side of the ball. Would you agree or disagree? I think their defense is, they can do what they need to do in the draft on defense.
I think I agree with you. I think their defense is pretty solid. I think before the draft, I think they've been trying to address the offensive line, right? I mean, They spent bread. They made a trade. They got the kid from the Houston Texans, Titus Howard, traded for him, signed him to like a 4-year deal, maybe 3-year deal, give him $60 million, like 61, 62 million. They acquired a free agency. Elgton Jenkins from Green Bay. He's a guard. Got him for 2 years, $24 million. And also from another guard. So they got their guards. They got a tackle in Howard. Zion Johnson. I liked him coming out of Boston College, I believe, a few years ago for the Steelers. So I remember him. He went to the Chargers. They didn't re-up him, let him go. Brown signed him to a 3-year, $49.5 million deal. They did pick up linebacker Quincy Williams, I guess, to maybe replace Devin Bush. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, Quincy Williams replaced Devin Bush. Dressing the line, they letting Joe Bo Antonio go, the Pro Bowl guard they've had for a while. So yeah, I do think they need weapon, and if they can sign another receiver. I mean, maybe they're a potential home for Tyreek Hill. I mean, protect Shador or whoever the quarterback is and give them some weapons. I mean, I think they've had in for visits. They have Cardinal Tate in, I believe Mekhi Lemon in for a visit, wide receiver. Did I see they had our boy Denzel Boston from Washington? So yeah, they need a receiver. They could use another tight end, but they let go of Njoku, who I don't believe has signed with anybody yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they like the tight end they got last year out of Bowling Green. Not Noah Fant. That's Bengals tight end, but I can't remember. Harold Fannin. Play, I believe he was all rookie. So they had a good draft last year. They'll be able to get off that Deshaun Watson money after this season. So I think they're making investments with that in their windshield, look as they look forward. But yeah, offensive weapons is the first way I would go. What are you thinking about the Browns?
I think most of the work they've done this offseason is try to make the offensive line better, right? I don't know what they think of Shador as far as their future plans are concerned. But if they're going to at least give it a shot, they got to protect the boy. They got to protect the kid. Now, one of the big knocks on Shador is that he doesn't play well when the pocket collapses around it. And I think that's a critique of any quarterback, Tom Brady on down. So if you're going to get the best out of Shador and actually give yourself an honest look, you got to at least be able to give him a clean pocket so you can hit those marks down the field and maybe see what you got with them. So I do appreciate that they've done some moves in that department. Would it be crazy if I was to say that that before the draft they could maybe still do a little bit more to make their pass rush a little bit better?
It's not crazy, but what are we talking? Are we talking, is there a free agent out there you see them potentially acquiring? I mean, because before you make a crazy trade, I want to use my draft pick. Even if that means getting a guy they pick 6, maybe the dude David Bailey falls to 6. He's one of the premium edge rushers in this draft. If that's the way you want to go, you know what I mean? And you got him under cost control.
Yeah. I mean, that would be,
that would be the way I would go for it.
That would be the way I go for it. That's if the draft falls to me the way I would like it to, that would be perfect for Cleveland. But to answer your first question, who's still out there? Obviously, Cal Van Noy. He's out there. He's a rental. These are all rentals right now. You're just rentals. You're gonna bring them in so they can just do that thing real quick, and then you can start rebuilding from the ground up. Like I say, that's Cal Van Noy. He's out there. Jadeveon Clowney. These guys that are always out there. They just want to skip the OTAs, and then you can bring them in and they give you 7, 8, 10 sacks in some cases. Who else out there? I think Cam Jordan, he was recently cut. So it's some productive older guys out there that's still out there. And I think this is probably not the biggest thing of concern for Cleveland, but they can go a long way in doing some dangerous stuff if they was to bring in a savvy vet, take off some heat from the new all-time single season sack holder. Oh no, no Diddy.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but single season sack record holder. Yeah, you gotta just
correct.
You guys be more.
I missed the record.
For more clarity, but nah, man. I don't disagree, but it's just the way you go about it. Because Cam Jordan getting paid for one season, you're not getting him cheaper than 18. You already paying Myles Garrett 40. Do I want to put $58 million in one season to those guys? I don't know.
Right.
And you're still paying. I'm trying to think like a GM, right? Andrew Berry here. But yeah, I mean, the best option I think is if one of those guys falls to you at 6 and you're able to get it that way. I think that's the best option for Cleveland. But got to address receiver. I think they've tried to do a good job addressing the offensive line. Go ahead, because they picked up Titus Howard. They still got DeJuan Jones, I believe it was his second year last from Ohio State. He was injured last year, so I think they have a better line. And now I just got to get some weapons. I think they believe in. Remember, you know my cousin Lamar. Lamar been on with us a time or two. Never get any consistency from Lamar. But I think I brought it up last week when you and B. Durr was talking. He talked about the Browns should draft Julian Love. Really good player. Again, thinking like a GM, I got to think from a positional value, kind of perspective. A running back at 6, and I just took one in the second last year and another one. I got 2 really good young running backs. I don't care if he's a generational talent. I don't need that much as I need other stuff. You know what I mean? And that's like wasting last year's pick. You think Cleveland had enough of doing that last year when they took Dylan Gabriel, then Shedeur Sanders. They could have another really, really good player at that 3rd round position to kind of complete their draft. So, yeah. David Bailey or Carnell Tate, depending on which direction they're leading. They both could be available there too.
Yeah, definitely Carnell Tate. That would be crazy for Cleveland to get Carnell Tate in the draft. Him with what's the boy named Bond? Oh man,
Isaiah Bond. Yeah. I mean, building a young core. I like I said, I like Fanning. I want to just address Christine's comment real quick. She said she lives a couple hours from Bowling Green. Is that south of Bowling Green in Ohio, north of Bowling Green in Michigan? Like I used to go, my girlfriend back then went to Bowling Green. She was in the track. I used to be up in Bowling Green at least once, maybe 2 times, 2 weekends a month back then. So a lot of fun times. Look, so long ago, Pay. First time I heard Bone, Thuggish Ruggish Bone was at Bowling Green back then. So you know how long ago. The first time I heard it, like it just had kind of dropped that week at some kind of homecoming party or something. But yeah,
you said you said she ran track.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
So she was like Deja, and you was what was his name? Marcus.
What do you reference?
Higher learning.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that in so long. But yeah. Yeah, she was actually a state champion in high school and went to Bowling Green and had a track career. She lived down there now in ATL. She worked at Georgia Tech. But yeah, so yeah.
Nerd school.
Claude saying D. Watson starting Cleveland QB, not Sanders. Claude, this is an argument for that. I kind of believe that. I can kind of see that. But the team has said this, Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders have been in the building. And if you ask the team, start with Myles Garrett and everybody else that they are talking about it, really like Shedeur Sanders, would like to see him get a chance. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, money says put in Deshaun Watson experience. You're trying to win, see what that looks like. If it fails, then you throw Shedeur in, or do you go ahead and risk the whole season and put Shedeur in? I don't know, but it could go either way.
Here's what I am with that.
Thanks for the 2 hours.
And I'm gonna put this out there in the front end. Cleveland has already disassociated themselves. And when I say Cleveland, I mean Jimmy Haslam, the owner. He's already disassociated himself from that decision on Deshaun Watson. Now, with that said, this what they do in the future with Deshaun. I think this is his last bankable year on his contract with them. It comes down to this: where do you think Cleveland's season would be, like in terms of win total?
If what? Well, what was the pretext?
If everything was to break right for them, where do you think their season would be in terms of win total?
I think ceiling. Everything breaks right. They find a good quarterback or somebody can play next year, and Shedeur is maybe the answer, or Deshaun Watson has a good year going out. Maybe he gets another low-level contract for another team that needs a bridge after next year. So it's contingent on the quarterback play and then the weapons that they get. But I say their ceiling is 8 and 9.
I wouldn't let 8 wins stop me from taking that cap hit.
You wouldn't let 8 wins. Oh, you saying the fact that best case scenario you can win 8, I don't got to see Deshaun no more, so I don't care about that cap hit.
Exactly.
I can see a discussion for that, but Claude is saying they ain't paying $50 million backup. He's making 40, but I don't think you even look at it like that. If he's not the future, then I agree with Pay, because
He's
50
not.
million, that ticket, that charge on your receipt is already on there for your quarterback room. So if you pay him 40 and Shador 2, that's 42 in your quarterback room. So you can't you can't let that dictate. The opposite thing going on in Minnesota now, because they brought in Kyler Murray for 1.5. So I'm not committed to playing because he's Kyler Murray. You're a $1.5 million asset. If JJ McCarthy beats you out, I still can play him. But Kyler Murray goes there with the mindset that I'm going to win this job. I'm going to play good and give me another track going into 27. His mindset doesn't make it so, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm with you, Pay. I wouldn't let it either if my Steelers not playoff. But it's about team buy-in too, right? I mean,
agree. It's about buy-in. I mean, you don't want to do things that upset the locker room, but it all depends on future. There's no future with Deshaun Watson. There may not be the future with Shador Sanders, but Shador Sanders, I would bet that more of the locker rooms with Shador than it is with Deshaun. So if I keep Shador around, keep him starting, I believe the rest of the troops, they're happy.
Yeah, that makes it easier to play Shador. And just get Deshaun his bread to go away.
Go away. I mean, I can't trade you. And if I could, I have to play you to trade you. And why would I even waste my time? I'm gonna take. Right. I've already wasted all the money. What's another $46 million?
Hey man, can I ask a question? Is that fine worthy? Because every week when we hear your phone vibrating on your desk, that's like y'all always find me for a ring or something like that.
A ring in 2026 is way worse. Way worse.
It's an interruption.
The phone vibrating is way more subtle. Way more. I'm gonna move it off the table, because the table it creates a loud buzz when it does. I'm gonna move it out the way. No more interruption.
Okay. Afton says, pay that man to sit on the couch. Said he has more value there. Do you think Deshaun Watson could potentially have any good football left in him?
If he does, I mean, what? Perhaps. But the last 5 times you've seen him? How many games has he played for Cleveland in total? I think
something like
13?
17, 18. I think
something like that.
18.
Out of those 17 appearances, let's just call it 17. Out of those 17 appearances, how many have been good? How many have been okay? This is my franchise player. That's a good
honest assessment, Christine. And because some people don't get credit. Some people get stuck on their narrative and just let it go. I mean, Shador's not a bad kid. I mean, he's a good kid. Is he brash and cocky? Yeah. I mean, he's those things too. And maybe some people don't like that. I know people in our Steelers sphere I've talked to don't want Mekhi Lemon. That's basically based off how he sound in his interview. He didn't say anything wrong in his interview. He might not have talked like you want to hear him talk, or his vernacular may not be what you had expected, but knowing that he grew up, like I have said before, in California, LA, close to South Central, a gang adjacent area, I mean, he was exposed. That's how they talk. I got people there that talk like that. So, I mean, I get it. I'm not holding anything against that kid either. If he could come to Pittsburgh, I'd want him on my team. But yeah, Pay, I felt like we spent we beat ourselves that game out on the prowl. Tough, you talk about Shador. But yeah, man, I think we spent way too much time on the Browns, man. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and take our second break and be done with it. We can just go through the rest of the teams and then carry it through to the end. No more breaks, no more anything like that. So if you're listening, if you're watching on YouTube, we're not going anywhere. If you're listening on the audio platform, be it Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you listen to your audio podcast, we have to take a quick break, hear a few words from our partners and advertisers, but we will be right back after this on Homies Friday Night with your boys Tate and Pay tonight. Just 2 of us. We will be right back. And we're back on the homies Friday night with your boys Tate and Pay in the building. Pay, let's waste no time, man. Let's go to Cincinnati Bengals.
All right. So I made the argument last week that I think that the Bengals are on the right track as far as fixing their defense. B-Dirt thinks it's too little to be giving them any type of real applause, any type of real adulation for what they've done on that side of the ball. So, Tate, the question I would have is, do you think there's anything else they can do before the draft to convince B-Dirt that the defense is on the right track, or just make them put them back in a contender sphere?
Well, they got the kid from, you guys talked about last week. They got the kid from Seattle. I forgot his name. Starts with an O or something. The edge rusher. They got two. No, he's from San Diego. That guy's from San Diego, the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
The safety, Bryant, is from Seattle. And they picked up a linebacker too. I mean, but whatever they do, just need to be defensive, right? I mean,
so there's always been two narratives. Well, at least the last few years has been two narratives surrounding the Bengals. Bad offensive line, bad defense. I feel like the defense and offensive line were improved last season, and I feel like they're still making improvements in this offseason for the defense. I don't think they really need anything drastic on the offensive side. I think the offensive line is still solid. Obviously, we know their weapons on offense are what they are. They're top tier. So yeah, I would agree. Defense is the way to go.
I mean, yeah, they'll make an offensive line investment. Like when or where, I couldn't tell you. Mark Tobin says they should trade for Crosby. I mean, I don't think they'll do that. I mean, they kind of mixed up in the whole Hendrickson going to Baltimore, Crosby going back, the potential injury and all that. They don't want no parts of that. I mean, maybe one of those guys Pay mentioned earlier, maybe a 1-year guy, but I think ideally they're going to get that in the draft in the first round. But they've missed in the draft. So I heard B-Dirt last week say we keep missing drafting on potential and not production, which the Bengals have done lately. Going back to Murphy, the pick from Clemson, the pick Stewart last year, the guy kid that held out, didn't do much last year. So they've been looking, but maybe Duke Tobin needs to do something different and maybe bring in a guy that we're not just looking at his combine scores. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think they're ready to compete. I mean, one lineman, maybe another tight end, and whatever else on defense. I mean, I couldn't even tell you where. Another safety. Maybe they can get Caleb Downs if he drops down to 9 or 10 at the Bengals pick. Mm-hmm. If he drops there, would be a big asset. Another linebacker like Sonny Styles, if he was to drop down there.
That's wishing.
That he dropped that far?
Yeah.
You're probably right.
This should probably be the only team I say this for tonight's episode. I don't think
Duke Tobin White.
I don't think come on now, Duke Tobin. I don't think there's any need for them to go get any free agents. I think with the way that their finances are set up, they should try to mitigate any expansive costs. Go get the cheap free agent. I mean, the cheap draft picks.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what situation Cincinnati finds themselves in. They got to keep doing it that way. So Max Crosby, no, get out of that.
Yeah, now Max Crosby make $35 million. We just wouldn't pay Trey Hendrickson $30. I mean, and he was perceived healthy. I mean, Baltimore got off Max Crosby to get Trey Hendrickson. No, did he? Baltimore let Max Crosby go to pick up Trey Hendrickson. But yeah, so that tells me enough. Not that I don't believe in Max Crosby, but that got to be a team that's ready to need it right now, right? Cincinnati needs to build another way because they're paying too much money on offense. So cheap, young, talented, hard-working, aggressive labor on that side of the ball I believe it's a good thing.
So how you win? It's how you win in this league.
It is, you're right. That seems to be a formula. Seems to be a formula.
All right. Which way you want to go next? Baltimore or Pittsburgh?
Oh man, you saved the most, if not the best, even though they won a division. Had this been circa 2024 season, we definitely be hearing all about Baltimore. But I'm not gonna talk about division championships. I'm just gonna say, let's go ahead and talk about Baltimore, because I believe most of our audience is here about Pittsburgh. So, they're the headliner, right? So we have a concert. You send, the little fellas out first, trying to make your name and stuff. You close the headliner. So we'll go ahead and go to Baltimore first. They probably thought we started with Cleveland, the young up and comer, potentially. Cincinnati kind of like that act that's tried improving, but they kind of fell off a little bit. Baltimore like that consistent act, right? But you're not the headliner right now in this venue. So we'll go ahead and go to Baltimore.
I like that analogy. The Baltimore's kind of like Drew Hill now. When you got all these.
Drew Hill is from Baltimore too, but no.
that's exactly why I made that. So
okay,
it's a long thing. So there's been a discussion lately about what age or what time frame to constitute a song becoming an oldie. And I've been told that songs become oldies now once they get around 22, 23 years old. So when I've been going to concerts lately, and you will always have these 90s acts touring together. Baltimore is never the headliner. Baltimore, in their own respect, as you said, they're solid, they're consistent. Everybody likes Baltimore. Everybody knows the bounce. They got the hits. But are they headlining? They didn't win a division last year, so we can't call them that right now. So while speaking about Baltimore and their oldies, I think the number one thing that they have to figure out, and they probably won't, they probably gonna have to wait until the draft to do this, but it's got to be that center position. They did let last week I was reminded repeatedly, shout out to Christine, go black and gold, that Baltimore lost 7 starters.
Good fact.
I will remind everybody that every team loses starters every season, every offseason. Whether or not they're a starter for your team does not mean they're a starter for the next squad. Now, the center that Baltimore lost, he's probably one of the best guys in the Lindenbaum. Lindenbaum's probably one of the best centers in the league. But when you get priced out that high, you got to let him walk.
What do you end up making?
$30 million
a season?
It's somewhere in that frame, because centers generally stay around like 18 or something like that. Somewhere in that 13 to 20 range. The Raiders, I think the Raiders signed him for about damn near $30 million. They jumped up real high. So maybe been 27, somewhere in that.
381. That's definitely 27 with 60 guaranteed.
27. Yeah. You got to let him walk.
I'm not paying the center that. In a couple of years, Zach Frazier want that.
Exactly.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So to that point, yes, Baltimore does have a hole in the middle of their offensive line. That is all the way true. But that is the number one spot they got to fix. All the other starters they lost. What's my man name? The fullback, Ricard, Kolar, and Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely was being phased out of the offense anyway. Kolar, they're phased out of the offense. That would be something different.
He shouldn't have been phased out. We talked about this before. I wasn't here to talk about it with you guys last week, but Likely's legitimate weapon who went to go play for his old coach, who I think Jackson Dart would really like Isaiah Likely. I think Lamar Jackson is more comfortable with Mark Andrews. Therefore, we're not going to pay Likely, and we already paying Mark Andrews.
True. I think Likely had his shot, but when this past season, he just didn't, step up to the plate and do what he had to do. He made a bunch of errors on the field. He was hurt a couple of times. So when the push came to shove, he said, you know what? We can just continue going ahead and paying Mark Andrews, bro. Thanks for your services. And Yeah, and
It came down to a choice more than a phase out, but yeah, it came down to a choice. And Lamar Jackson
yeah,
made the decision, I believe.
more than likely did. I mean, if you listen to
No pun intended.
what I'm blanking on the owner's name. I keep wanting to say DaCosta, but that's the general manager.
Biscotti.
Biscotti. If you listen to Biscotti said Lamar Jackson does have a certain amount of pull in the building, just not more than Biscotti does. Biscotti said, I got final decision, but Lamar, he would be consulted. Lamar's making a lot of money. He should have some consultancy in him. But I wouldn't be surprised if Isaiah Likely was decided on was voted off the island, so to speak, by Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, and I think, like, are there free agents left that they could get? I think they need another receiver, maybe before because I don't think D-Hop is gone, right?
Yeah, D-Hop is gone. He did, and D-Hop was kind of throwing shade earlier. Was it last week that he was like he wasn't used correctly in the end zone? Teach his own, but yeah,
well, he may not have been.
I think we've said this about Baltimore. What? Going back to the first episode, yeah, they could use some receiver help.
Yeah, they've tried to fill that position with like the Steelers quarterbacks, right? I mean, they've had Odell, they've had D-Hop, they've had. I mean, the one time it did work for us a while ago, Lamar, when there was Steve Smith. The one time it worked,
right?
You know what I mean? Anquan Bolden did decent, but so that was their formula, and that is done now. So. And they paid Rashad Bateman, drafted him, I believe, in his third round, maybe second. Hasn't panned out as a clear number 2, but I think he's a solid 3. So
yeah, I would give him.
But a 3. I do agree they got to fix the trenches first. And we'll put all this to rest right now. For the Steelers, I like Vega potentially if he was there, but Baltimore's going to take him. He's not a center, but he replaces He gives you another stud, a young stud up front to kind of feel some of that, some of that what's missing from the center of the Baltimore's offensive line. You know what I mean? So now, and then I think they can get a receiver in the second round because, they got both their first round picks back. So they just go in another direction in the rebuild or their build or addition. Talent acquisition. They're not rebuilding. Talent acquisition. They go in another direction. But, yeah, I think they get an offensive, like Vega, good offensive lineman early, even in the interior, because that's a Baltimore thing to do. And then they look for a receiver next.
Yeah, I would rather spend draft capital on receivers later in the round, earlier in day 2, second, third, fourth round. That's, this may be an unpopular take, but I've said it many a times. I think the wide receiver is bound to be devalued at some point. I would not spend high capital on a wide receiver. I wouldn't pay. I know the wide receiver salaries are booming right now. You got above average, not superior, but above average guys making close to 30 now. I wouldn't do it. If I believe in my offensive scheme, I can go get me 1,000-yard wide receiver in any draft. Second, third round, I can make you a 1,000, 1,100-yard receiver. That's just me. That's my take.
If you 1,000, 1,100-yard receiver because of scheme, that means you a 1,700, 1,800-yard receiver. If you draft one of them guys instead of a guy I can scheme him to 11, that guy that's more talented, you can get him to 16, 17 with probably 3 or 4 more touchdowns.
You got to pay him though.
Got to pay him, yeah.
I wouldn't want
but you just said you think the market gonna turn at some point in the near future. So you want
I gotta believe.
You weren't a fan of the Bears getting Roma Dunze?
I wouldn't see at the time. No, I did not like it. I understood it because you want to marry a young dynamic wide receiver with a young quarterback. I get that, but while you're drafting receivers in the top 10. Primarily, I would not want to do that. I would reserve top 10 for now. You could have a special case, guys like Randy Moss, Keyshawn Johnson, things like that. There are those outliers from time to time for every era, but I'm not making that a general practice.
Jeremiah Smith next year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
those are those outliers.
How do you value who goes in the top 10? How do you value it? Because I have my own evaluation. How do you value it?
You got to be over 6'3" for one. Got to be over 6'3". I want to see
wide receiver in general.
Oh, so quarterbacks gonna get there. A guy that you believe is a franchise quarterback, you already know, top 10 guy. I like my edges. They're next behind that. Tackles, those guys. Anybody in the top 15, I'm looking at those three positions. If you are a top tackle in this draft, I see you could be a bookend for 10 years. Boom, top pick. Quarterback, same thing. Edges, disruptive guys, especially if they got a nice body, no ditty. I want them in that top 15. Wide receivers, dime a dozen. Running backs, dime a dozen. You get your interior linemen in later in the draft. Don't want to do it.
Shout out to the homie Claude with the super chat. $2. Thanks, Claude, as always, tapping in, being here. Always here, giving somebody a difficult time. I mean, now that could be good or bad because he's a Steeler fan. I'm guessing that he wish he was a Ravens GM so you could mess him up. He said, I wish you were the Ravens, the Ratbirds GM.
Well, I mean, they keep drafting wide receivers in the first round, so don't.
Who keep drafting wide receivers?
Baltimore.
Who they draft in the first round? Wide receivers. Zay Flowers, and that's it, right?
No, they've done it a few times in the last 6 or 7 drafts. They kept hitting that well in the wide receiver. Zay's been decent. Has he been a first round wide receiver? Has he returned a first round grade? That's debatable.
Allow me to say this. I agree with your evaluation process, right? And to me, it's dictated all the positions you said. I'm with that. But the one you left out was wide receiver. You left it out on purpose. You know why? Because I evaluate like, who do I want cost control over more? Quarterback, offensive tackle, edge rusher, and wide receiver. Edge is making 40, wide receivers making 40. Quarterbacks making 60, and the tackle market is up about 35. So you could debate offensive tackle and maybe corner because some of the corners they're just getting to 30. But
I would rather pay a corner too.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just saying that's how I evaluate it. Like, what guys on my team that I draft I want to have cost control over if they hit.
Yeah, and now that's a good thought process. Because if you take it by whose markets, there's the market variance. Yeah, if this guy hits, I definitely want to be able to suppress his salary as long as possible.
Right. Give him the old annoying franchise tag. You ain't going no 5-year option, then the franchise tag. I don't care if you're mad or not. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to look at it.
I'm gonna put a tag on you. Somebody they can pay you. I'll let you go. I'm gonna get 2 first-round picks back for you. So, you got to take that investment and look at it past just the position, but the overall positional value based in the finance of it, right? That has to be part of your evaluation with those first round picks, especially top 10 picks.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that. That's a good shot.
Yeah. Okay. Christine said she was a Ravens GM. She probably really messed them up. Christine says I'm 100. No, I know what that's about. Pay me being 100. It's my new hot little soundbite.
My logic is undeniable.
But yeah, man. All right, we can go ahead and go to the Steelers now if you want. You can ask me whatever question you want. I'm gonna answer how I think Omar Khan will handle it and what I would do.
So they did. Well, we do this every offseason. I feel like the Steelers are the most active team in this division. Every free agency mark. Yeah,
Since Omar
every
Khan's been
free
here,
agent.
definitely.
Yeah, ever since Omar Khan took over, the Steelers are far and away the most active team in this division, and this has been no different. I don't necessarily think. Well, you did all the work in free agency already, so I think the Steelers are just like the Bengals in this situation. Like everything else now is leading directly to that draft. So I'm gonna pivot. And ask you this: with your pick at, you said 21.
Yeah,
With your
21.
pick at 21, are you still thinking about cost control, or do you really want to do that big splash and go ahead and get you somebody that can, I guess, maybe you feel differently about what area of need there is, but yeah, but are you looking more so at area of need, or are you want to cross one of those cost control positions that you just named?
Well, I think the fact of the matter is that cost control position has to be a product of it. Right as it stands right now, the Steelers need a guard and a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But the cost control aspect of it, to me, comes to more effect with the wide receiver, because you're paying DK and now Michael Pittman Jr. about $55 million a season between the two of them. So, now to me, if one of the three guys at wide receiver I've identified at 21 is there, and right now to me that's Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, and I don't think obviously Tate won't be there, and maybe Mekhi Lemon won't be there, but Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson. I'm gonna say Omar Cooper, though. I think maybe you could fall back a few spots unless another player you want is there. But I got to go with one of those guys, because now I got them at cost control rate, but they're projected to be number one as DK and Pittman, both are 28 years old. DK got 4 seasons left on his contract. Pittman got 3. As they phase out, my new wide receiver, potentially 1, is going to be going into his 4th and 5th year at cost control. Then I pay him eventually and bring me in another guy. Same way. I'm thinking I'm forward projecting that room for the next, because we've been out for way too long without elite wide receivers. So I like that part of it. Now, if none of those guys are there, the biggest need is right. Say Vega fell, and Big G loves Vega. A lot of people like Vega's a beast. Let's just say that. But Vega's a guard. He's a guard. I mean, everybody says David DeCastro. That was 15 years ago they drafted David DeCastro. It's different now. You know what I mean? So from a positional value buy, I mean, is that guard worth it in the first round? I mean, because that in the draft, first round picks are slotted at their salary. I believe pick 21, that salary for pick 21, first round pick, cost $3.9 million, not quite $4 million. So now, do I want a guard I can control for that $4 million as we go forward, and want a 5th-year option on the guard, or do I want a 5th-year option on an elite wide receiver?
I did just do all that talking about, I don't want a wide receiver that early, but if the other option is a guard, get out of here. Get out of here.
It's the biggest position to need, though. I think people, we got Metcalf, we got Pittman, but hey, last I checked, this ain't Arthur Smith offense, and right now in 11 personnel, wide receiver 3 wide receivers in the field, that's a starting position too. A third wide receiver is a starting position. So let's not act like it's not a starting position.
Especially in this day and age, in this era of football, the base like you said, base formation is 11, and on because the base formation on defense is nickel. So it's definitely a starting position now. But with that said, if I need a guard that bad in the number one position, I mean, in the best player on the board is a wide receiver, I'm gonna trade back.
Yeah, that's why I said if Omar Cooper is there and my other 2 wide receivers are going, but Vega's going too, I might fall back. I ain't just getting a guard because that's what I need at 21. You know what I mean? I'd rather I'd rather take swings than catch pitches, right? I'd rather be a batter than a catcher, if that analogy makes any sense. No Diddy to all that. But I guess being a batter ain't bad. But yeah, because I'd rather, take the home run cut, take a swing, and go on upside and not just go on at that. Now, Claude is right. They do need a guard. But do I need a guard at pick 21 in the first round? Or do I work, maybe even trade up for a guard in the second round and get a guard?
Mm-hmm.
Is my thinking. Yeah, what's Christine saying? Because she going player specific. Because Boo, no. I would take Tyson or Cooper. Agreed. In the first, and Pregnon, the guard out of Oregon might not, unless we trade up. That's a potential trade up guy, though. See, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, but yeah. Claude said if it's Vegas, he's taking them. Christine says batter, swing. No doubt. Hey, I think the Cincinnati Reds affiliate, my team, played down in Louisville. Well, yeah, you a Reds fan, Christine? But yeah, go ahead, Pay. Any more questions?
I was trying to think of what was that team in the World Baseball Classic that lost, got sent home because they didn't swing. I'm trying to remember, but in any case. All right, so you say the biggest position in need is a guard.
And wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two positions.
What was that? That old man phone ring. That's why that's a fine, and the vibrate is not. But I remember a year ago, maybe not around this time. Actually, yeah, it wasn't too far about around this time. I was telling you and B Dirt, going on and on and on about how weak I thought Drew Aller was, and it was you just telling me, Penn State guy Drew Aller, he's decent, he's good. Tate, I think a position of need for the Pittsburgh Steelers is again this year the quarterback position. Drew Aller. Later on in the draft, Drew Aller, maybe even Nussmeier, anybody. You want the team to take a swing?
Nah, I don't. I mean, quarterback is the most position need, but that ain't gonna happen this year. I mean, to me, like, I'm the old guy that you can't stand, you love to hate, put it in NWA terms, without the ninja part. But Aaron Rodgers will be back. To me, Will Howard is your rookie. I listened to Steeler personalities and reporters and beat writers and podcast guys this week that I really respect their opinion. Alan Saunders and Nick Faribault both said that Will Howard probably would be QB3 this draft. So why do I want to spend a fourth round pick or late third round pick on Drew Aller? And I don't know what Will Howard is yet. Let me see what he is then next year in a quarterback plentiful draft, right? Maybe 6 quarterbacks going in the first round, maybe more depending on how they play. I get my guy there. I get the team ready because those first, second, third, and fourth round picks are valuable. Don't need to waste one on that guy. And I got Will Howard, who hasn't played, who is a rookie essentially, who Ben Roethlisberger has talked about glowingly, who Aaron Rodgers has talked about glowingly, says he has some stuff. Let me see what that's. I'm not saying it is, but let me see what it look like. That's my rookie. That's my rookie. I don't want no Nussmeier. Now, I can see the upside potential in Aller, but Aller's inaccurate. 6'5", 235. You can't coach that. Yeah. Got a nice arm, but he makes bad decisions. Played at Penn State, didn't win anything. You know what I mean? You have people come to his defense, people that used to call him trash a year or two ago. Shout out to the homie Big G. Know it all. But now is on board with him. But now the Steelers looking at because they know the kid from North Dakota State, Peyton, whatever his name is. They bringing him in for a visit or brought him in today. So he's a 6th round quarterback. Give me the quarterback out of Arkansas as a project, but don't give me day 1, day 2, and early day 3 quarterback. My 4th round, 5th, 6th round, 7th round, go ahead. Throw all the darts you want. But no, I need out this draft, I need a safety, I need a corner, I need a guard, I need a wide receiver, and probably a linebacker.
Let me ask you this. Everyone has a glowing opinion of Will Howard. And you want to see, and it's fair, you want to see what you got in him first before you dump into those quarterback draft mocks, whatever, right? That's fair. How do you see what you have in Will Howard while still playing with the old man?
How do I feel about what?
How do you see what you have in Will Howard while you still got Aaron Rodgers around?
Well, because I think ideally Will Howard got hurt right before the first preseason game last year. Didn't get to play at all. Looked decent in practice. I think ideally Will Howard beats out Mason Rudolph for quarterback 2 this year. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not going to be in OTAs. Aaron Rodgers is not going to really probably show up to his time for camp because now he showed up a week or so earlier last year because Mike Tomlin was there, but now he's back in his comfort zone with Mike McCarthy. So he going to show up when it's time to go off to training camp. But so now you get to see Will Howard versus Mason Rudolph all up to that time. And Will Howard ideally should beat out Mason Rudolph for QB2. And then that means he's going to get a lot of reps in the preseason, second team reps in practice, all that kind of stuff. So he has to earn it. But first, we got to see what he is.
I guess if the plan makes sense to you guys, I'm all for it. I don't know.
Would you?
Al on the prowl, GR Dave 3161. I got at least 6 teams that will be taking a quarterback in 27. If we finish anywhere over 8-8, we aren't going to be in that position to get a good QB, in my opinion.
Well, now I think that's a good take by Al on the prowl. But let me ask you this: we are going to have assets to potentially trade up. Maybe trade some of the assets this year. And let me ask you, who needs a quarterback? Tennessee Titans, trash team. They drafted a quarterback last year. Do I think the Saints found their quarterback last year? I think the Saints think they found their quarterback last year in Tyler Show. Do we think that the Giants got their quarterback last year, Jackson Dart? I think they like him. If Shedeur Sanders hits this year for the Browns, I mean, Joe Burrow ain't going nowhere. It's going to be opportunity. If it's 6 or 7 quarterbacks, I don't care if you pick in the top 25, you can get one of the guys. And if you're willing to move up, you can maybe identify 2 of the 3 that you want, 1 of the 3 that you want. So I don't think it's all gloom and doom from that perspective because the Raiders are getting a quarterback this year, Fernando Mendoza. The Arizona Cardinals just paid no, they don't have him. The Miami Dolphins just paid Malik Willis. I mean, so what are we talking about? Teams that at next year's draft is going to be way more talented than just past the quarterback room. So yeah, I think it's plenty of opportunity. Now, will we get more like I want? More out of Dante Moore? Maybe not.
I have 4 teams definitely taking a quarterback.
Who are they?
The Jets.
The Jets. I believe the Jets going to take Ty Simpson this year. I believe they're going at 16. I believe they're going to take Ty Simpson because they signed Geno Smith. They got rid of Justin Fields. Tyrod Taylor's a free agent. He washed. I believe the Jets are going to take Ty Simpson, but we'll see. The Dolphins, they just paid Malik Willis 3 years, $70 million.
Yeah. Malik Williams, he's there for 2 years.
Packer hate take though. No.
Malik Willis is not a Packer. Malik Willis, they tore it. He's there to steer the ship until they draft a quarterback. He's got 2 years, and then they're getting rid of him.
2 guaranteed, yeah. Okay.
Once they're gonna get rid of him.
But why not just go with Drew Allen to put yourself in a better position and save some money? They did hire Green Bay's defensive coordinator as their coach, who's familiar with Malik Willis.
And that's probably why they did it, because you if you remember the last coach they had, Brian Flores, they took a lot of flack for intentionally trying to lose games, as so Brian Flores said. So you know what? All right, this new coach comes in like, hey, I don't want none of that meddling, making me lose games. I see what y'all on. Like, okay, we won't intentionally lose games. Why don't you get the quarterback you're familiar with, and you do your thing. Bring him in Malik Willis, and we still gonna undercut you. They're still gonna undercut you because we still gonna try to get these draft picks off. I mean, we talked about the cap hit that Cleveland is trying to dodge. Miami's not dodging theirs. They said we taking $100 million down there out of our cap space so we can get two about the building. The Dolphins are going to be ass. You're not being asked for not drafting quarterback in this quarterback field draft. That's definitely going to happen. I got them. I got the Jets, maybe the Falcons, and maybe the Vikings, and possibly the Saints too. So that's 2 and a possible, 2 and 3 possible.
I mean, and I don't disagree with you. I mean, what if Kyler Murray hits? What if JJ?
Oh yeah, and that's the same thing. You still got Tua out there. You still got Kyler Murray. Those guys aren't exactly done yet. They're not exactly done being starters yet. So I don't know where the 6 come from. I mean, there's going to be quarterback talent out there, but I don't know. It's going to be a fun year to find out which quarterbacks are now backups. That's what we're seeing, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, as we go into next year, though, quarterback position, college football. I mean, I'm guessing Arch Manning holds on to the number 1 overall. I mean, far as prospect at the quarterback position. I mean, just, name, brand recognition, royalty, value alone. Dante Moore. You got a lot of other guys after that, right? You got the kid Nico out of UCLA. You got Sellers out of South Carolina. You got Levitt, who's going to have a big year under at LSU under the coach that left Kiffin, Lane Kiffin. I mean, going to have a big year. You got the kid that just transferred from Cincinnati to Texas Tech. You got the kid that plays at USC, Lava or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You got Julian Sand coming out of Ohio State. I mean, you got some guys. I'm just saying.
Cardinals too.
Who?
Arizona Cardinals too.
No, yeah. They're the one I agree needs a quarterback and one because they haven't brought anybody in but Jacoby Brissett as yet. But I'm not so sold that if Malik Willis shows anything that the Dolphins are going to be drafting the quarterback next year.
He doesn't have any weapons to show anything, and I think if you put him in a 17-game blender, yeah,
you could be right. And it may be such a quarterback rich draft as you can't afford to pass in that position, even if you're paying a guy.
Definitely can't. Which is why I brought up the Vikings, which is also why I want to also maybe question mark Detroit Lions. Maybe.
Yeah, no, you're right. They could be one, but ideally they'll finish with a better record than us.
Yeah, but it's going to be a lot of quarterbacks out there, so
Detroit could definitely use a quarterback. And a team like Detroit or even the Rams, like if Ty Simpson failed, wouldn't surprise me if they jumped in there and tried to take him this year. Or maybe they're one of the teams that takes a project quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round.
True.
But the Steelers need a guy. We don't need no 3rd or 4th round project. If I'm sitting on Jared Goff for another 2 or 3 years, or got Matt Stafford for another good year, or maybe 2, I can take a shot in the 3rd or 4th round. But your first round, they're not going to take no first round pick, I don't think. So yeah, quarterback will be there.
Steelers do need a guy. I agree with you there.
Last year for Herbert.
Ooh, I don't like that take.
Yeah, what do you mean last year for Herbert, Al? Because Herbert been paid already. He got his new contract. What are you talking about last year? Did he go retire?
No, Harbaugh's not pushing Herbert out. No, not yet. Herbert will be there after Harbaugh.
Christine says Miami goes receiver. Miami needs a lot, though. They like clearance sale. Like when you go in there, it ain't but a few things left on the floor of the store, and you can go in there and barter a deal. That's where Miami is right now. Hard Rock Stadium has just got a few players sitting out there, and they might have tryouts. If you remember, like the NBA team in the fictitious movie, The Fishes Say Pittsburgh, tryouts. Like regular citizens walking up to tryout. So that could be Miami. I definitely want Dante Moore to be my first option. But yeah,
so we wait. Next year it is.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. If you're me, I see what Will Howard is. Aaron Rodgers is back. Now, do I bring in a guy to compete in that mix with Howard and Mason Rudolph? Yeah. I mean, if I could get to me, that's where now would I give up a fourth, a fifth for somebody like Anthony Richardson? I would. Would I give up like a 6 or 7 for somebody like Will Levis or Zach Wilson? First round, second round guys. I see arm talent. And McCarthy's supposed to be a quarterback guru. Give me one of them guys like that, then drafting a guy in the first 4 rounds when I can build my team. What are you perplexed by?
Where is Will Levis?
I believe Will Levis played last year. Let me do a quick search because I really don't remember.
Last thing I remember him doing is putting a banana in some mayonnaise or something, and then I don't know what happened to him. Coffee, yeah. It was something weird.
He's still in Tennessee.
He is?
Yep.
Huh.
He is the second pick of the second round in 2023. 6'4", 230, 26 years old. Let me see what that looked like in my room, Mike McCarthy. You know what I mean? So, or go get your nephew, JJ McCarthy. If you get him for a 3rd or 4th round pick, first round talent, let me see what you can do with that.
Minnesota would love you.
They probably
would. They would love you to get off JJ. They would. Oh, pause. They would love to trade JJ about that building.
Yeah, no, third round might be too much, but that's me talking. That ain't Omar talking. You know, Omar. Omar's a tough negotiator. So
right.
Yeah, if you get him for a 4th round, I mean, I don't think they go lower than a 4th. He just was a first round pick 2 years ago. Only got 10 games experience, but. If Kevin O'Connell can't do nothing with you, I question Mike McCarthy. Can you do something with him? And maybe sometimes just a change of scenery. I mean, I don't know, but
it helps.
I'm more in line with something like that. Somebody that's been in pro training camps and seen the game than just me spending my 3rd pick, number 99. Pittsburgh got 5 picks in the top 100. I'm not using none of the 5 on the quarterback.
I like that pragmatism.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we got 5 weeks to the draft, Tate. Does anybody make any drafts? I mean, does anybody make any trades?
Oh,
this is going to be a quiet one.
I think a lot of teams are interested in trading back. Like, I think once you get out the top 15, I think teams are interested in trading back. If it's a value buy, right? Like if I'm the Steelers and my 3 receivers are going or my 2 receivers are going, Tyson, Lemon, Cooper there, but I look at the board behind me and I can trade back 5 picks, pick up a 3rd for somebody that wants to move up for somebody I don't need. I do that. Then I get Cooper or I get the next best safety. Because safety is big is to me a more premium need than guard. I've identified guards in the 2nd round that I can get. So I might go get the kid out of Toledo because we need speed at safety. Maybe I get one of the top 3 corners because, next year you signed Asante Samuel to a 1-year deal. Brandon Echols got 1 year left on his deal. Jalen Ramsey could be out of there at any time after this year. After they pay him his big money, they can't cut him this year. I like Jalen Ramsey, but he's 31. So you got to start thinking like that, man. I mean, guard not doing, even though you do need that piece to complete the line. I'm not so sold that Broderick Jones played like 8 games at left tackle last year. He was okay. The kid that we all love, Dylan Cook, last year looked good, but let them compete. I don't need a tackle. I do need a guard. Can I go sign a guard in free agency or can I get a guard in the 2nd or 3rd round? Mason McCormick's a 4th round guard we got playing now. That is a beast. We got him in the 4th round. I'm not, again, you know my value buys, positional value, so I'm done with that. Anything else we get out of here, Pay? I got one thing to say.
All right, man. What is it?
Our football teams, we'll talk about from now until obviously it starts up again. Our college basketball teams, we may not utter their names until next November around Thanksgiving. But this week, Pay, we got our baseball teams coming up. Opening day is this week. Now, the Reds open up at home every week, the oldest team in baseball.
Y'all do a parade for the Reds, don't you?
They do
Yes.
a parade every year. So they close city government schools and everything in Cincinnati for opening day. So
yeah, I have a friend in Ohio. She's been telling me that Cincinnati, top five most fun city
Claude
in
left
the
another
nation.
super chat. Say it again.
Let's get to the super chat first. Claude, 5 for the fan. Watch the Steelers take Ty Simpson in the first and piss the whole Steelers fan base off. Mason has NFL experience. Mason Rudolph?
Yeah,
Is
you got to
he?
go Mason Rudolph.
Well, who cares about NFL experience, man? You know what the experience of what? What is that experience giving you? There's no point in even talking about that. That's why draft picks are as valuable as they are, because they're unknown. They're completely unknown. They can be here, they can be there, but you're always treading for the most. But Mason Rudolph, I don't even know what we're talking about.
Thanks for the $5. I guess he's just saying that if Aaron Rodgers don't play, then let Mason Rudolph. But I don't want to see that. But I don't want to draft Ty Simpson either. Two things can be true.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't want to see Mason Rudolph. Don't want to draft Ty Simpson.
Put Will Howard in the game if you want to see what he's got.
Hey,
it's the best time to see
put him in the game. Never seen him play a pro snap, nothing. But I'm putting him in day one, regardless. We just now got, who was that? Trevor tapping in. Trevor, thanks for tapping in, fam. Definitely, certainly appreciate you. What up? A bit late. Just want to just pop in and say what up before I hit the rewind. Hey, man, thanks, Trev. Yes. Good show. We get into our GM bags a little bit, man. Pay got some knowledge about the Ravens, made some good points about the Bengals, and everybody just threw in their tool bag to try and fix the Browns. So, But yeah, man, back to the baseball. What'd you say about Cincinnati, though?
I got a friend that said Cincinnati is the top 5 most fun city in America. So I've been looking into it. It's a lot of stuff to do in Cincinnati. So I'm gonna have to check that out this summer.
It is. I got some people in Cincinnati too, obviously, just about an hour and 45 minutes away when I go home to Lima, down south, like that far south of Cincinnati, north of Cincinnati, and that far south of Detroit. So that 75 strip used to get traveled all the time back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. So who do the Cubs open against?
The Cubs open against who was that? I was going to say the Brewers, but no, that's the Sox. The Cubs, they got I want to say it's the Pirates they open up against. If I'm not mistaken. No, it is the Nationals. That's right.
Christine in Louisville, real close to Cincinnati. She say BS. She called BS, I guess, on Cincinnati take, but her Cincinnati been growing. I ain't saying top 5. I don't know. Last time I was in Cincinnati was 2017, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Hung out, but because once I was going through my health journey and stuff, I really wasn't traveling doing that kind of stuff. So, I'm kind of all the way out the game now, but I had fun. Got a homegirl down there to swear by it. Shout out to my homie Camille. But yeah, so hey, top 5 though, that's a tall climb.
It is. I'm always looking for the Pirates open up with the Mets. Okay, yeah. That's where I heard it from. Talking to somebody else about baseball. So yeah, the Cubs open up with the Washington Nationals.
You here or are they there?
No, it's going to be in DC.
Okay.
Home opener for the Cubs isn't until April.
Okay.
First weekend in April.
The Reds got Boston Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward. I mean, we got some Gino Suarez. We got some pop in the lineup now. I know y'all signed Berkman to make up for the loss of who went to the Dodgers for y'all.
The Cubs got in on Alex Bregman they let I forgot his name. $60 million man. I can't think of his name right now, but
you ain't all in your Cubs bag yet.
Man, not well. That's a Dodger now. He ain't a Cub yet. He ain't a Cub no more.
But he left, so his position got to be filled. I mean, I could tell you the Reds starting lineup, who started opening day and everything. Hunter Green hurt to July.
I did an episode on that.
Hunter Green being hurt.
Yeah, it was a segment in the episode I did 2 weeks ago. Hunter Green being down for a minute. Big news for the Cincinnati Shots.
Okay.
Go Nats, huh?
You know, Claude, man. Hey, with that being said, we're about to go out and get out of here. Certainly, we spent an hour and a half with you, probably about 20 minutes longer than we probably would have or should have, but not that we didn't want to. Well, so we's here, you know. Thank y'all for tapping in with us. About to get out of here. Pay, tell them where they can find you the rest of the week, man.
We will be at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel where we got everything. We've got stuff dropping every day. Baseball, basketball on Mondays and Tuesdays, football on Wednesdays and Thursdays, baseball on Fridays, baseball on Thursdays and Fridays as well. So definitely want to tap in with that. Always a fun time over at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Yeah, you guys have fun. I have fun doing the NBA show with my little young guys, man. Like, I don't know if you watched the NBA show last week. They was talking about Bam Adebayo's 83, questioning if Wilt Chamberlain's record really happened because no video footage allegedly, supposedly. I was like, man, every stuff happened before VHS or stuff was recorded, man. So I saw that part. And
yeah.
VHS wasn't invented yet. However, what stuff happened before media deals were a thing.
It's true.
Right. True. So when he scored 100 points, there was no media, there was no television deal with the NBA. They did have their broadcast was on radio. And if you want to listen to the game, it is in the archives. You can listen to the game.
Ooh.
You just can't watch it.
Point taken. I think I got the NBA show this week as far as the hosting of it. So check it out Monday at 7:30. KnoItAlkz NBA Weekly. Also with the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan crew. Pays homies, my homies Zeke and Rick. Bleachers to Speakers Guy, Pistons Post Game Podcast. The homie B Foss in the building. Check us out Monday at 7:30. Right after Minister Yens, Big G's Pittsburgh Steelers show. So, I think that's from like 6 to 7:15-ish. So check us out at 7:30, 7:40-ish, because Pay's folks is always late typically. But with that being said, we out of here. Pay, check out the new outro we got for the homies, man. Just in the lab doing all kind of stuff. But we out.
Yeah. We the homies, yeah. Yeah. We the homies, yeah.